Everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 6. Again, we are not concerned about the authors, we are not concerned about the edition, we are concerned with our practice. So it is being tried that you can be in practice sessions for so many questions. I mean, as many as questions which will produce capability to solve cash book in in a capacity where you can have the solution in the exact manner. I would like to share with you that questions we are taking is not from one book, it's not from one author. There are variety of authors and book present, and what we have done, we have picked practice questions for from different authors. Sometimes we were taking foreign authors, sometimes we were taking the local authors from Asia or from America, just to make sure that our students should have knowledge for one topic with complete and comprehensive capability. Here we have question number 6. No matter what author or what edition it is, we are actually on target to produce cash book. And as you know that in cash book we do have several transactions which are provided by the book, or in practical, if you are working as an accountant, you will be provided these sort of transactions by your organization. You can see that it's just layman language, a simple English, where what your organization have done, that means what organization is receiving or what organization is paying, they have written in simple English language and provided you this information. You as an accountant is responsible to receive this information and convert into usable information. Right now it's raw data. You cannot conclude anything from this English paragraph. So what you will do, you will pick this raw data and will convert into usable information. Please be attentive. What is basic purpose of cash book? There are two main elements which are involved in it, that is cash and bank. If you want to manage your cash well, if you want to manage your disbursement of cash, if you want to manage your cash which is received, this is the best way to learn how to manage your cash. Here there are two aspects of cash. You will receive cash and you will pay cash. So you will manage how much cash you have received on one side, and you will manage how much cash you have paid on other side. In the similar manner, how much cash is being deposited into the bank, this is one side, and how much cash is withdrawn from the bank, this is second aspect. So ultimately the target of cash book is to see how much cash is still in your hand and how much amount is present in your bank account. So these are transactions. You will convert these transactions into usable information, and there are two steps. First, you will convert this simple raw data into journal, journal journal. I would like to show you the procedure. Here you have what you are looking at is there are two parts divided in a way that first part would deal with journal entries. Now you can see we have journal over here, and there is second part, that is cash book. Step number 1, we will take these transactions which are given by the organization or given in the question. You will take these transactions and will convert these transactions into journal. This is your first part. And second part is what? You will take this journal and convert into cash book. Cash book is basically combination of several ledgers like discount, cash, and bank. But at the same time, it is specific for discount, cash, and bank. These are three different ledgers. Several ledgers I was saying, those are three ledgers: discount, cash, and bank. So what you are doing, you are combining three different ledgers in single book. You can see that on debit side we have discount, cash, and bank, and we have credit side where you have discount, cash, and bank. So what you will do, if entries present in journal includes cash, bank, and discount, you will pick only those entries. If in any entry these three elements are not present, you will not pick that entry and you can skip, you can leave that entry. We are not going to post those entries in any ledgers. So as we are deciding it, we are concerned with only three elements: cash, discount and bank. If cash is present over here, you will pick that entry and you will see cash, bank or discount. If it is debit, you will choose same side in cash book and you will put in discount, cash or bank. And vice versa, if entries are present in journal on credit side, you will go to the credit side of cash book and will post if it is discount, cash or bank. So hopefully you have understood that rule is very simple. If in journal cash is debit, you will post on debit side. So debit do debit, credit do credit. Now let's see what these transactions are about. These transaction given in the question is related to single month, and that is October. From 1st to 31, all transactions are associated with month of October. All right. So step by step we will proceed. We are now related with entry number 1, which is October 1. So we will post date first. Here you can write 1. Since all entries are related to single month, so you may write October over here or you may write October at the start. So it is 1st of October, and entry which is given in 1st October is saying we have cash in hand. Cash in hand means you have cash, neither you are paying cash nor you are receiving cash. Cash is not going out, cash is not coming in, just cash in hand. So it means your cash in hand is a favorable aspect of organization. That cash in hand is your asset. Asset should always be written on debit side, so you will mention cash on debit side as it is favorable for you. As earlier it has been mentioned, you are not paying this cash to anyone and you are not receiving this cash from anyone. You are not paying it, you are not receiving it, it's just the balance. So you will mention the name of balance on other side just as the reference. Now let's see how much cash in hand. It is 200. So you are going to post 200 on debit side, and same 200 you are needed to post on your credit side. In this way, one entry which, okay, there are two different transactions in first dates, so you can mention date over here by yourself. It is not given in the book, just to distinguish two parts. So you will do 1A, and now the second part of first date you may write 1B, just to make it distinguished from first day. Half part of first we have done cash in hand, and second half part is saying bank balance overdrawn. Yeah, balance overdrawn by bank, balance overdrawn at bank. Still it is balance. Overdrawn is what? For that purpose you will be more attentive, and for that purpose I think we have already tried to understand in some previous question. It is better everything is written. Now see, amount present in your bank account was 1000 rupees, I'm just supposing it, but suddenly you are in need to issue or you are in need to pay someone more than the amount present in your bank account, that is 1200. Again try to understand how much amount is present in your bank account, 1000, but you are in need to issue a check of rupees 1200 which is more than the amount present in your bank account. So what will happen when you will issue this check to your creditor? That account payable person or creditor will go to your bank, will present that check and will try to withdraw amount from your bank. But what would happen when you have issued a check which is having an amount more than the amount present in your bank account? That check would be bounced and will be returned and will be dishonored. But at the same time, if customer is having good relationship with the banker, that means you as a customer is having good relationship with your banker, you can put a request to your banker and saying that to give a favor of providing amount to the creditor 1200, while in reality it is not possible because amount present in your bank account is less than the amount you have written on check. But if you have good relationship with the banker can uh, encash this check for piece 1200, where 200 is an additional amount. How a banker can do this? When you are requesting and you are promising at the same time that you will return 200 rupees additional within a shorter period of time. So it may be considered that 200 is drawn from your bank account, which is over and above of balance present in your bank account, and you are promising to return this amount within shorter period of time. So it can be uh, termed as short term loan. So you have taken a short term loan of 200 rupees, within 2 days you will return. But right now, at this stage, you have drawn over and above the amount which was present in your bank account. That is why it is called overdrawn balance. How much you have overdrawn? 200. Overdrawn is short term loan. It means it is just to be considered as your liability should be written on credit side. So you will mention your name of bank account on credit side. And what is the reason? It is just the short term loan and liabilities. Right now it's just the balance. You have already drawn the amount over and above to your bank balance. It is just the balance. Right now amount is not going out, amount is not being deposited, just an overdraft balance. So you will mention name of balance on opposite side for the reference. It is 1B. Let's see how much overdrawn balance. It is 400. So you are going to write 400 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on your credit side. In this way, first entry is completed. There were two aspects of first entry and we have generalized both. What time I have used? Generalize. What we are doing, these are transaction and we are generalizing these transactions. So we are up to second entry. It has also two parts. So we are going to write 2A for the first part of the entry, and for second part we will be writing 2B. So 2A is saying we have sold goods for cash. This is our entry. I have asked the question in the class, what is meant by cash sale? Somebody had said we have sold cash. No, it's not what we are selling cash. It is actually you have sold your goods and received cash. When you are selling your goods, it means your goods are going out, goods are your near assets are decreasing. So you were supposed to write goods on credit side, but as you know, we do not write goods in accounting, we write working in place of goods. What working we are doing? We are selling goods, so you will mention sales over here. Goods were written just for the reference, it's a referral. Now it's unnecessary to be written over here, you can erase goods, it was just for an understanding. You have sold goods and received cash. When you will receive cash, it means your cash in hand would be increasing. Increase in cash in hand means increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited. So you are needed to mention cash on debit side. As an asset, it is increasing. How much amount of cash sales is? You can see over there, second entry, it is 500 cash sales. All right, there is second part of this entry. One second. And same amount you are needed to put on credit side as well. This is simple accounting principle. Whatever you will write on debit side, same amount should be written on the credit side as well. 2A is completed. Now what is second part of 2? It is saying banked cash 200. In other meaning, you can say you have deposited cash into your bank. When you will deposit cash into your bank, it means amount present in your bank account would be increased. Increase in bank account mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited, so you will debit name of bank account on debit side. How bank account amount in bank account has been increased? You have received the cash and same cash you are depositing into your bank. It means cash is going out. When cash is going out means your cash in hand is decreasing, asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention cash on credit side. It was 2, but B entry. So here you have mentioned the date, B entry. And now how much cash has been deposited into the bank. In 2B you can see it's 200. So 200 would be written over here. What third meaning we are getting? Cash you have received was 500. You haven't deposited all the cash into the bank. Some part of this cash has been deposited. That means 200. So 200 is mentioned on debit side, and same you are supposed to write on credit side. So what we have is 2B. Now let's see what is next for us. After 2 we are having entry number 3, and it is saying paid Habib by check. Habib is name. Paid Habib by check. When you are paying something through check, so what will happen? You are issuing this check to the person to whom amount was payable. That means he was your account payable. When you will issue this check to your account payable, he will go to your bank branch and will present that check, and he will withdraw amount from your bank, with which amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset is decreased, so you are needed to mention bank name or bank account name on credit side. Why? Because your amount in bank has been decreased, asset is decreased. To whom you have issued this check? It has been written paid Habib and company. The person, the artificial person to whom you have issued check, he was your account payable. What word I am using? Was. He was your account payable, but as you have paid, it means your he is no more your account payable, means your liability has been decreased. It means he is no more your liability. When liability has been decreased, it should be mentioned on debit side. So Habib company we are mentioning on debit side, though they were your account payable. What word I have used? Were. They were your account payable, but after payment now they are no more your account payable. Liability decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. That is why you are naming Habib on debit side. Date is 3, so you will mention date over here 3. All right, now see, third entry's amount is 150. So you are going to post 150 over here on debit side, and same amount you are needed to put on credit side. This way entry number 3 is completed. Now let's see what is next for us. That is entry number 5. So you will mention 5th date, 5th of the month in date column. 5th entry is saying received Abdur Rahim's check. You have received a check and paid into the bank. What you are doing? You are receiving check and paying that check on the same date. This is important to understand when you are receiving check. But not only you have received, you have deposited the same check into the bank in same date. So now what you will do? Ultimate conclusion is what? You receive check, but you have deposited into the bank. It means amount present in your bank account will eventually be increased. Increase in bank account mean increase in asset, which should be debited. So you are needed to mention name of bank on debit side. All right. So since you have received a check and there is nothing else, and from whom you are receiving this check, that is Abdur Rahim. Abdur Rahim is a person from whom amount was receivable. Now you have received that amount. It means he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So Abdur Rahim, who was, I'm using was, who was your account receivable. Now you are writing on credit side. Though you can say account receivable are asset and assets place is debit. Why we are writing on credit side? As we have received the amount. So Rahim is no more our account receivable, no more our asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you are writing name of your account receivable on credit side. How much of 5th entry amount is? And that is 850. So you will be writing 850 on debit side, and same amount would be posted on credit side. This way entry number 5 is completed. Now let's see what is next entry for us. It is 6. So you will mention 6th date in date column. What sixth entry is saying? Paid salaries in cash. What it is written? Paid salaries in cash. You have paid salaries in terms of cash. If you are paying, that means your cash is going out, means cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention cash on credit side. You are paying this cash for what purpose? You are paying salaries. Salaries are your expenses, and debit side is fixed for expense side. For expenses, expenses should always be mentioned on debit side, so you will write salaries on debit side. And I think salary, okay, just salaries. Let's see how much salaries of sixth is. This is 250. So you are going to write 250 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way you have completed your entry number 6. But I am looking, there is another part mentioned in the same entry, and that is bought goods for cash, same date. So what you will do, you will mention 6A in previous entry, and now mention the date as 6B over here, and we have bought goods for cash. Now please concentrate. Bought goods for cash means you are buying your goods. Goods are coming in. Goods are your near asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you were supposed to write goods over here. But as you know, we do not write goods in accounting. We write working in place of goods. What working we are doing? We are buying goods. So you may write purchase in place of good. Goods, what we have written over here was just a reference to understand that what is coming in. So now it is unnecessary to be unnecessary for the goods to be written over here. You can erase it. So you have bought goods, that is why you have written purchase over here. Buying good mean you are paying cash. Cash is going out. Cash is going out means your cash in hand is decreasing, which is your asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you will mention cash on credit side, because your cash is decreasing as an asset. When asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you have mentioned cash on credit side. How much amount? 6B is 140, so you are going to write 140 on debit side, and same amount would be written on credit side. So here our entry number 6B is completed. Now come over here, 6B. We have completed sixth entry. Next is 8. So here just write down entry number 8, and what entry number 8 is saying? Drew from bank for office use. Here is our entry. Drew from bank for office use. You have drawn some amount from bank for office. When you are going to draw some amount from your bank account, amount present in bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account mean decrease in your asset decrease should be mentioned on credit side. So you will name your bank on credit side, because your asset is decreasing, amount present in bank is decreasing, which should be mentioned on debit side. When you will draw amount, what you will receive? Cash, and that cash is drawn for office use. Still office use is not mentioned. So what had happened? You have drawn amount from bank. What you will receive? Cash, means your cash in hand would be increased. Cash in hand is your asset, means asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention cash on debit side. How much amount for 8th entry is? That is 160. So you will mention 160 on debit side, and same amount you are needed to write on credit side. This way your 8th entry is completed. Now come to the next entry, that is 11. So put date 11 in next entry over here. All right, now 11th entry is saying again cash sales. Half part is saying you have sold goods for cash, and since there is something else also written in this entry, we will change our date 11A, we would call it. And 11th entry is saying you have sold goods for cash. We have already done this entry. When you are selling goods, it means your goods are going out. Goods are your near asset, mean asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you were supposed to write goods over here as you are selling goods. But you know, in accounting, we do not write goods, we write working in place of goods. What working we are doing? We are selling, so you will mention sales over here. Goods were written just for the reference, and it is unnecessary to be written over here. You may erase it. So you have sold goods. What you will receive after selling goods? As it has been mentioned, you are selling goods for cash. So you will receive cash. Cash, when you will receive, it means your cash in hand is increasing, which is your asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention cash on debit side. How much amount for cash sale? It is, as you can see, 21. So you will write 21 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way 11A is completed, cash sales, but there is half part also present in this entry in same date, paid wages in cash. What you are doing now, you are again paying for what? For wages. When you will be paying something, it means your cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you are writing cash on credit side as your cash is decreasing. Decreasing for what? You are paying wages. Wages are your expense, and expenses are required to be mentioned on debit side, so you will name wages on debit side. This is your 11B entry. Now how much amount paid in terms of wages? Amount is 120, so you are supposed to write 120 on debit side, and same amount you will be posting on credit side. This way 11B is completed. Now let's see what is next for us, and that is 13th entry. What 13 entry is saying? First we will mention the date 13, and now let's see. Received a check, received by check from Aftab Ahmed 360 and discount of rupees 10, and paid this check into the bank. So there are three aspects. First step is you have received this check, okay, and you have received a discount as well. Sorry, there is a discount, and then you have paid this check into the bank. First you have received this check, and then you have paid this check into the bank. You can make two entries or you can make single entry. When you are receiving that check and immediately you are paying this check into the bank, then at the end of this transaction, what had happened? The check has been deposited into the bank. If you will deposit check or cash into the bank, eventually amount present in bank account would be increased. Bank account is your asset, mean asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention bank on debit side, because as an asset is has been increased, which should be mentioned on debit side, so you have mentioned bank on debit side. From whom you have received this check? Entry number, it was 13. In 13th entry you have received this check from Aftab. Aftab is the name of person from whom amount was receivable, and you have now received that amount. That means Aftab is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So name of Aftab we are mentioning on credit side, though he was your account receivable. What word I am using? Was. Account receivable or asset. Asset should be mentioned on debit side, but as we have received amount, he is no more account receivable, no more asset, decrease in asset. That is why we are crediting his name. But there is third aspect mentioned in this entry, and that is beside 360 it has been written there is a discount. Now who will decide that there would be a discount? Since we are receiving the amount, we have the authority to allow our debtor to pay less or more. Since we are permitting, we are allowing to pay less, that means the discount at this stage is discount allowed, because we have permitted our debtor to pay less. In this way, our entry has been completed. Now we will see the matter of amount. In 1310.3, first you see check is mentioned and amount of check is 360, which has been deposited into the bank. It means increase in bank account would be for 360 rupees. The second thing which has been mentioned is rupees 10. And what is this 10? That is your discount. So what you will do, you will write 10 rupees in front of discount. And after this, when you will see your entry number 13, entry has been ended, but amount of aftab is not mentioned. So what we will do, we will apply simple accounting principle. As you know that debit side is always equal to credit side. In debit side there are two amounts. To equalize, what you will do, you will add 360 and 10 and would write on credit side to equalizing for the purpose to equalize both sides, debit and credit side. Though amount of aftab was not mentioned, so indirectly we have calculated the amount of aftab. This way 13th entry is completed. Let's see what is next for us, and that is entry number 16. So you will go and mention the date 16 over here. Now what 16 is saying, sent a check to Jones for rupees 175 and discount. What entry is saying, sent a check to Jones. It means you have issued a check to Jones. Whenever you will issue a check, the person to whom you have issued check is your account payable, and he will go to the bank and will present that check to your bank branch and will withdraw amount from your bank account, with which amount present in your bank account would be decreased. It means your asset is decreasing, which should be mentioned on credit side. So you will name your bank account on credit side because amount has been decreased. To whom you have issued this check, this is entry number 16. You have issued this check to John. John is just a person to whom amount was payable, and now you have paid that amount. He is no more your account payable, no more your liability after payment. Liability decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. So here you are needed to mention name of John on debit side. Now let's see what was the amount of check. That is mentioned 175, and this is amount of check. So what you will do, you will write this 175 in front of bank, because the amount written on check would be the amount which is going to draw from bank. This means 175 is the amount with which your bank account would be decreased. Now let's see what is next. That is discount. Discount is 5 rupees. So you will mention discount. Now here you have to decide whether it is discount received or allowed. You are paying this amount. You have no authority to decide whether to pay less or not. Actually, the person to whom amount was payable, he was John. John will decide that you can pay less. It means he will permit, and we are going to pay less. When we are going to pay less, it means we are getting some favor. It is our income. That means we are receiving discount. Our creditor John had permitted us to pay less. That means we are paying less, we are receiving some discount. So you have mentioned over here the discount. Discount amount is given in the book, that is 5, but entry is completed. Amount of John is not mentioned in the book in the transaction. How would you calculate the amount of John? Again, you will apply a very simple accounting principle. Debit and credit side are always equal to, and at credit side you do have two amounts. To equalizing it, what you will do, you will add 175 and second amount is 5. You will add both amounts, in which now what had happened, debit and credit side is equalized. Though amount of John was not given in the question, we have indirectly calculated. Entry number 16 is completed. Let's see what is next for us. After 16, it is 19. So date should be mentioned before starting of any transaction. 19, Received cash from Abdul Rahim, received cash from Abdul Rahim, discount allowed. First part of the entry is saying receive cash from Abdul Rahim. Abdul Rahim is a person. When you will receive cash, it means your cash in hand is increasing. Increase in cash in hand mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention name of cash on debit side. From whom you are receiving this amount? That is Abdurrahim. Abdurrahim was the person from whom amount was receivable. He was your account receivable. He was asset. But now you have received the amount. It means he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset has been decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So Abdurrahim's name we are mentioning on credit side. In spite of this, that he was. What word I am using? Was. He was your account receivable. After receiving amount from him, he is no more account receivable, no more asset, decrease in asset. That is why we have named Rahim on credit side. Now let's focus on the amount. Entry number 19. You have received cash 275. So what you will do, you will write 275 in front of cash. This is the amount you have received from your account receivable. Second aspect of this transaction is there is a discount, and discount is 6 rupees. Now see, discount allowed is already mentioned. When discount allowed is mentioned, it means you are permitting, that is your expense. So you will write discount on debit side, as discount allowed is an expense for you. So it would be mentioned on debit side. How much discount? That is 5 rupees. So you will be mentioning 5 rupees over here. Entry is completed. Abdur Rahim's entry was this, and discount allowed was this, and discount allowed was, oh, actually it is 6. So nothing else is given. First you will rectify amount, that is 6. So it means amount of Rahim is not mentioned over here. Again you will apply simple accounting principle. Debit and credit side are always equal. So what you will do, how much amount is present on debit side, to equalize what you will do, you will add all the amounts present on debit side. 275 plus 6, these two amounts were present on debit side. You have added up and written on Rahim. Though amount for Rahim was not mentioned in the book, indirectly you have calculated by summing up all the amounts present on debit side. This way both sides are equalized, means entry is completed. When 19th entry is completed, what is next for us? That is 21. Write down 21st date for the next entry. What 21 is saying? Purchase furniture for cash. Okay, that's all. Purchase furniture for cash. When you are buying furniture, it means what is coming in? Furniture. Furniture is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you are mentioning furniture on debit side. If you are buying furniture, what will be going out? Means you are paying what? Cash is going out. That means your cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you are mentioning name of cash on credit side. 21st entry it was, and how much amount? That is 160. So we have bought a furniture of worth rupees 160. So you are going to mention amount on debit side, and same amount you will be putting on credit side. This way 21st entry is completed. Now let's see what next entry, October 23 it is. Put date first, 23, and now see what 23 is saying. Drew cash from bank and paid every. There are two parts of 23, so it's better to write 23A in first part, and first part of 23 is saying drew cash from bank. What you have done, you have drawn cash from the bank. When you are going to draw amount from your bank account, it means amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention your bank account name on credit side. When you will draw amount, what you will receive? Drew cash from bank. When you will draw some amount, you will receive cash, mean your cash in hand is increasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention name of cash on debit side. How much cash is drawn? That is 250. So you are going to write 250 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way your entry number 23A is completed. But 23 is having second part, and that is what? Paid advertisement in cash. As you are paying means your cash in hand is going out. Cash is going out mean cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand, decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so cash is going out. For what purpose you are paying this cash? That is advertising, and you are paying means advertising is an expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side, so you will write advertising. Yeah, advertise. Yeah, advertising expense. You may write over here as an expense. This was 23B. We should have mentioned date first. How much amount is paying for advertising? That is 55. So you will mention 55 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. All right. So here you are going to write 55. In this way, entry number 23B is completed. 23 was having two parts. Both parts are completed. Next is 24. So you will mention 24 date over here. Let's see what 24 is saying. Receive check from a name Ejaz and paid the same into the bank. Okay, we have understood. Receive a check from Ejaz and paid into the bank. Ultimately, what had happened? You have received a check and deposited the same check into the bank. This means amount present in your bank account will eventually be increased. Increase in bank account mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so that is why you have written your bank account on debit side as an asset is has been increased. It should be debited. So you have debited bank account. From whom you have received this check? It was entry number 24. In 24 it is saying that you have received that check from Ejaz Bashir. Ejaz was the person from whom amount was receivable. That means he was your account receivable. Account receivables are asset. As you have received the amount means he is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Asset decrease. Decrease in assets should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you will write name of Ejaz on credit side, in spite of the fact that he was your asset account receivable. But why you are mentioning asset on credit side? Because he was the person from whom amount was receivable. He was account receivable, he was asset. But after receiving the amount, he is no more asset. Decrease in asset, credit. That is why you have mentioned name of Ejaz on credit side. Now let's see for 24. Amount was 245, and let's see if there is anything else. No discount. So 245 will be written on debit side, and same amount you are needed to post on credit side. This way entry number 24 is completed. Let's see what next entry it is. 29. So you are going to write 29 on date column. 29 is saying Ejaz Bashir's check. The check we have recently received returned what? By the bank unpaid. That means check has been dishonored. So bank had not paid that check. Kindly note it down that you have received this check and deposited into the bank. The check was received from Ejaz. When you have deposited, you were supposed to increase your bank account. So you have increased, but next day you were informed by the bank that Ejaz Bashir's check is being dishonored due to any reason. Maybe date was not mentioned, maybe signatures were not accurate, maybe amount in words and amount in numbers is not matched. Due to any reason, your amount is not being deposited into the bank book. While what we have done, we have increased our bank account. In reality, when date would arrive 29, you will come to know that your bank account has not been increased because of that check. So what you will do, you will reverse that entry and will decrease bank account. Why? Initially received check and you were supposing it that amount would eventually be increased, but actually amount has not been increased. So you will decrease amount present in bank again. Decrease in bank account mean decrease in asset. As decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you have mentioned name of bank on credit side. If amount is not being received from Ejaz, where you will go? You will inform Ejaz and will say your check has been bounced or dishonored. You are still liable to pay. So Ejaz will become account receivable again. Account receivable mean again Ejaz becomes your asset. Asset is increased. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will write name of Ejaz on debit side, because from Ejaz amount is still receivable. Same amount you will be going to receive from Ejaz. Again Ejaz is becoming your account receivable or asset again. So that is why you are mentioning Ejaz name on debit side, because he is still your asset, still your account receivable, which should be mentioned on debit side. 29th entry we have completed. Now next entry is 31 and there are two 31st entries. So what you are going to do, 31 a part you may write over here, and we can write 31 b at the same time, because 31 is having two parts. 31a saying paid office cash into the bank. You can understand that it's simple English. Paid cash into the bank. What had happened? You have deposited cash in your bank account, means amount present in your bank account would be increased. Bank account is your asset, mean asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention your bank account on debit side. How amount in bank has been increased? Because you have paid cash in to the bank. So cash is going out, cash in hand is decreasing, which is your asset. Asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention name of cash on credit side. How much amount is deposited into the bank? That is, one second, 31st entry was having two parts. First part was paid salaries. Okay, what we will do, this is 31st b part. We will pick this entry and we'll write over here, and 31st a was different, but we will complete 31st b right now. 31st b's amount is 100 rupees. So you are going to write 100 rupees on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. Here 31st b is completed. Now come to 31a. 31 entry was having two parts. 31b we had completed first, maybe by mistake, and now 31a. What 31a is saying? Paid salaries in cash. Since it's a payment, you are paying cash. Cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means you are decreasing your asset. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you are supposed to write cash on credit side. As an asset it is decreasing, that is why you are mentioning it on credit side. For what purpose you are paying cash? That is salaries. Here you can see that you are paying salaries. Salaries are your expense, because you are paying expenses should be mentioned on debit side. So you are going to write salaries on debit side. How much amount of salaries has been paid? That is 160. So write down 160 on debit side, and same amount you are needed to post on credit side. This way you were having 31 entries, and all entries from 1st to 31, thankfully these entries are completed. You can see what we are having. We have started from here, and step by step from first entry to 31st entry we have completed in this session. Half part of this question has been completed. Next step we will take all of these journal entries and will post these journal entries into cash book. Rule, you already have an idea how journal entries are posted into the cash book, and we will understand it again. Half part is completed. Consider it as part A. We will meet again after a short break. Please take break and come back as we have completed half part. Half part will be completed in part B. Thank you very much for your time, and I am waiting for you for the B part. We were doing question number 4, and we have completed all transactions taken from the book and converted them to journal entries. And these many journal entries we have completed from 1st to 31st B. All entries were completed. And guys, here was your question. It was question number 4 related to month of April. We had started from first date to 31 and we had completed all the journal entries. There are your journal entries, and next step was to be posted these journal entries into ledgers, 3 combined ledgers. We have named them cash book, and in cash book there are 3 ledgers: discount, cash and bank. And we have 2 sides, debit side and credit side. On credit side you can also see discount, cash and bank. 3 columns on left side, 3 columns on right side. That means 3 columns on debit side and 3 columns on credit side. So the name of this cash book is to be called like 3-column cash book, because we are using 3 ledgers at the same time. Here the rule is very simple. What you will do, if you will see cash or discount or bank on debit side, you will go to the debit side of the cash book and will post the amount in a relevant column. If it is cash, post in cash. If it is bank, post in bank. And if cash, discount or bank are present on credit side, like in this entry, you will go to the credit side and will choose bank column. If it is bank, choose bank. If it is cash, choose cash. Why we are making this cash book and why these so many entries are needed to be transferred into cash book? Basically this cash book is used to convert this raw data which we have seen in these transactions into usable information. And what is that usable information? With the help of cash book you can calculate cash in hand and amount present in your bank account. That means bank balance. So without any help from bank or without any help from any outside party, you can calculate your cash in hand and you can calculate your bank balance present in your bank account if you can learn how to make cash book. So it's so useful, so practical. Now let's start posting these transactions. We will post very first entry, which is 1A. There are 2 elements. Only one element is associated with cash book, as we have described that cash, discount and bank. Only 3 columns will be packed and posted into cash book. So what we will do, if it is not cash, if it is not bank, if it is not discount, you are going to leave it. You are going to skip it. You are not related with it. So if it is balance, leave it. If it is sale, leave it. If it is Habib, leave it. If it is Abdurrahim, leave it. You are associated with only cash, discount and bank. So here in first entry there were 2 elements, but only one element is related to cash book, and that is cash. Cash is debited by 200. Go to the debit side of the cash book and write down 200. We are following that simple rule. If cash is debit, we will choose debit side of cash book. If cash is credit, we will choose credit side of the cash book. Now next step is to seek the reference. First entry, what you have posted cash, and whatever would be returned to the opposite side of cash, you will use it as your reference. Opposite side, to balance is written, so in particulars you will write to balance as your reference. And now see the date, which is 1A, so put 1A in date column. This way entry number 1A was having only one element to be posted, and we have posted. Entry 1A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Why we are marking it? Actually, when you have these many entries, so many entries are present, there is chance of doubling. There is chance to post one entry more than one time. It may be called doubling of an entry. If you will mark it, then chances of posting an entry twice will be almost minimized. There will not be any chance to post one entry twice if you will mark it. And secondly, there is a fear of skipping the entry. When there are these many entries, that there is a chance to that you can skip one entry. When you will mark, it means that entry, we are satisfied that entry has been posted into the ledger. It means it has not been skipped. So if you will mark, then two fears were fear of skipping and fear of doubling the entry will be minimized. So I will suggest you, whenever you are doing cash book in your exams, just whenever you will complete your posting, write down anything. You can mark it, you can put a click over it, whatever the sign you want to put, you can put if an entry has been posted in the cash book. 1A is completed. Now 1B, there are two elements in 1B, but only one element we are associated with is bank. Bank is credit over here, 400. So you will go to the credit side and there in bank column you will write 400. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of bank? It is balance. So how I am reading this entry, I'm just focusing upon this marked entry. Whatever is marked, we will be working on next entry. So here your focus is easy. Whenever we are coming back to the journal entry, you just see where is green signal. And next entry we will be posting in our cash book. So this entry is going to be posted. We have posted bank amount 400 on credit side. What is written on opposite side? That is balance. So you will write balance in particular column, but with an additional word of by. This is coefficient of particular. Whatever you will write over here, over here, over here, in whole particular column, whatever you are writing as a reference, you will write the word by at start. Okay, buy balance is completed. Now it's time to see the date. What is date? 1B. So you are going to write 1B in date column. In this way, entry number 1B, there was only one element to be posted. We have posted. It means 1B is completed. Mark it as it has been done. And now let's see what 2A is saying. There are two elements, but only one element, as I have described: discount, cash and bank. These are three elements which would be picked. Nothing else is needed to be picked. Nothing else is needed to be posted. Cash is debit by 500. Go to the debit side of cash and write down 500. Now see its reference, and reference is what is written on opposite side of cash, that is two sales. So you just going to write two sales over here. See the date, which is 2A. Put 2A over here. Entry number 2A was having only one element which has been posted. It means entry 2A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 2B, where there are two elements and both elements are associated with the cash book. So we will post them step by step. First step is to see bank. Bank is debited 200. Go to the debit side of the bank and write down 200. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of bank? To cash. So you are going to write to cash in particular column. Now see the date, which is 2B. So write down 2B in date column. In 2B, there were two elements. Bank has been posted. Now we will be posting cash, which is credit by 200. Go to the credit side of cash and put 200 in cash column. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of cash? That is bank. So just write down by bank in particular column. See the date, which is 2B. So you are supposed to write 2B over here. This way, entry number 2B was having two elements. Bank we have debited by 200 and cash is credited by 200. Both entries, both elements have been posted. It means 2B is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now we are on entry number 3. There are two elements, but only one element is related to cash book, which is bank. Bank is credited over here 150. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 150. And now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of bank? Habib. So write down by Habib over here. See its date, which is 3. So put date 3 in date column. In entry number 3, there was only one element to be posted, that was bank. We have posted it. Entry 3 completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now entry number 5, there are two elements, but only one element we are associated with is bank. Bank is debited 850. Go to the debit side of the bank and write down 850, and now see its date, which is 5. Put 5 in the date column. See the reference, what is written on opposite side of bank? A Rahim or Abdur Rahim. Write down Abdur Rahim in particulars column. Date has already been mentioned. In fifth entry, there was only one element, 850. We have already posted, means entry completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 6A, where there are two elements, but only one element is related to cash book, which is cash, credited 250. So we'll go to the credit side of cash and we'll write 250. 250 over here. Now see its reference, and that is salaries. So put salaries over here with the word by, and now see the date, which is 6A. 6A you are going to write in date column. 6A was having only one entry, that was cash, and cash is credited over here by 250. Okay, and one element has been posted. 6A is completed, so mark it as it has been done. We are on now 6B, where there are two elements, but only one element is related to cash book, that is cash 140 credit. So you will go to the credit side of the cash and we write 140 over here. Now see its reference, what is written on opposite side of cash? That is purchase. So write down by purchase in particulars column, and see its date, which is 6B. So write down 6B in date column. In 6B entry, there was only one element we have posted, that means entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now entry number 8, where there are two elements, and you can see that both elements are related with cash books, so we will post them step by step. First step is to see cash, which is debited by 160. Go to the debit side of cash and write down 160 over here. All right, now see its reference, what is written opposite side of cash? That is to bank. So you will be writing to bank over here. See its date, which is 8. Put 8 in date column. In this way, half of the entry is completed. We were supposed to write cash on debit side, we have written. Now bank is credited by 160. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 160 over here. See its reference, what is written on opposite side of bank? That is cash. Write down cash over here, and now see its date, which is 8. Put 8 over here. Eighth entry, we have debited cash and credited bank. Both entries have been posted. It means entry number 8 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now entry number 11A, where there are two elements, but only one element is associated with cash book, that is cash. Cash is debited by 21. Go to the debit side of the cash and write down 21 over here. Now see its reference, what is written on opposite side of cash? That is to sales. Put to sales in particular column, and now see the date, which is 11A. Put 11A in date column. 11A was having only one element, that has been posted. It means 11A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now 11B, where there are two elements, but only one element is needed to be posted, that is cash. Cash credited 120. Go to the credit side of cash and write down 120 over here. 120. Okay, now see its reference, cash is credited, and what is written on opposite side? Wages. So you are going to write wages here. with an additional word of buy. Now see its date, which is 11B. Put 11B in date column. In 11B, only one element was needed to be posted, and we have posted. It means 11B is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is entry number 13. In 13, we have three elements, but two elements are related with the cash book, which is bank and discount. So we will post them step by step. First step is to see bank, which is debited 360. Go to the debit side of the bank and write down 360 over bank column. In the bank column, now see what is the reference for bank and discount. Reference is same, that is Aftab. So you are supposed to write here to Aftab, and now see its date, which is 13. Put 13 over here. As it was described in 13th entry for bank and discount, reference is same. Bank we have already posted, discount is needed to be posted on debit side. So you will go to the debit side of the discount. There are two possibilities. You can write discount over here, and you will have to write 2 Aftab again and 13 again. Instead of this, you can post discount amount in the same line. Discount is 10, and you will be writing 10 in front of discount. Why? Because reference of 360 and reference of 10 is same, which is Aftab. Date of both element is same, which is 13. So you can use the same line. 13th entry is completed. And now let's see, but mark it as it has been done. Let's see what is next for us. That is 16th entry. 1 second, I'll have to check that both entries have been posted, 360 and 10. Okay, 360 and 10 both have been posted. Entry number 13 completed. In entry number 16, there are three elements, but we are associated with two elements only, bank and discount. Both will be posted in cash book, so we will post them step by step. First step is to see bank, which is credited by 175. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 175 over here in bank column. Now see what is its reference. That is John. Now here the matter is being repeated for bank and discount. Reference is same, John. So first we have posted bank, credit side, and here you will be writing John over here. And now see what is its date, which is 16. Put date over here in date column. In 16th entry, there were two elements. Bank has been already posted. Now it's time to post discount. Is credited by 5. So you may write discount over here 5, but for that you will have to repeat by John and 16. So you can use the same line of discount. How much its amount? That is 5 rupees. Write down 5 in discount column. In the same row where you have already written bank's amount 175, same row you are using, because discount and bank's reference is same, by John date is same, 16. So you have used the same line. Bank and discount was needed to be posted, and both have been posted. 16th entry completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 19, where there are three elements, but only two elements are related with cash book, cash and discount. So we will post both of them, but step by step. First step is to see cash, which is debited by 275. Go to the debit side and write down 275 over here in debit column of cash book. And now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of cash? That is to Abdul Rahim. Write down to Abdul Rahim here. And now see its date, which is 19. Put 19 over here. Okay. In 19th entry, there were two elements. Cash has been posted. Now it's time to post discount, which is debited by 6. Go to the debit side of discount and write down 6. It was possible to write down 6 over here in the next line as well, but for that purpose you were supposed to write 2 Rahim and 19 again. Since reference of 6 and 27 275 is same, which is Abdur Rahim, and date is same, so you have chosen the same row. So both possibilities are good. You may choose next line or you may choose the same line. Cash and discount were supposed to be posted and we have already posted. Entry 29 is completed. Mark, it has been done. Now entry number 21, where there are two elements but only one element is related to cash book, and that is cash, which is credited by 160. Go to the credit side of the cash and write down 160 over here in credit column of cash book. Now see its reference, what is written on opposite side of cash, that is furniture. So write down furniture in particular column, see its date, which is 21. Put 21 in date column. Now see in 21st entry there was only one element to be posted, that was cash. We have posted, it means 21 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now 23A, where there are two elements, both elements are related with the cash book and both elements are supposed to be posted in cash book. So we will post step by step. First step is to see cash, which is debited by 250. Go to the debit side of the cash and write down 250 over here. And now see its reference, what is written on opposite side of cash, that is bank. So you will be writing to bank over here. And now see its date 23A. One thing I'm willing to share over here, when you are posting these many entries, obviously someone of you, maybe some students over here, they might feel tiredness, they might feel it that it's so many entries and they can feel it as a burden. So there are two options: either you will have to be cool, calm and concentrated and focused, with which I'm assuring you you will learn. Otherwise, when you will be feeling burden or when you will be feeling overworked, yeah, overly hard work, believe me, you will not be able to learn well. Your skill will not be developed. I cannot express my feelings whenever I am doing the long question. I enjoy myself, and sometimes I forget everything, whatever is happening outside, whatever is upside, downside. I will be vanished from all of my surroundings. So I enjoy my work. So I'm requesting you, whenever you are doing your work, just be involved, just be focused and forget whatever is around you. And I am very hopeful in this way, while you are focusing with your full energy to your work, I'm very hopeful you will be a good learner and the required skill would surely be developed. So we were on 21st entry, cash was credit 160. Have we posted? Okay, 21st entry has been completed. Now we are at 23A, where there are two elements and both elements are associated with cash book because we are associated with cash, bank and discount. And here we have cash and bank. So we will post them step by step. First step is to see cash, which is debited by 250. Go to the debit side and post 250 on debit side. And okay, we have already posted. Actually we have taken a break and I was willing to share some feelings, with which one entry was going to be doubled. As I was saying you, there was a fear at the start some entries can be doubled, and hopefully it would not be happening because we have marked all the entries. Cash was debited by 250 and we have already posted 250, entry number 23A. It means half of entry has been completed, so we should erase it. 250 has been posted, 23A, half of entry has been posted. Now next is bank is credited by 250. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 250 over here. Okay, see its reference, what is written on opposite side of bank, that is cash. Put buy cash in particular column. Now see its date, which is 23A. So you are going to write 23A in date column. 23A was having two element, cash at bank cash and bank. So you have debited cash and credited bank. It means both entries, both elements have been posted. 23A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now 23B, there are two elements, but we are associated with only one element, that is cash, which is credited by 855. So you will go to the credit side of cash and will write 55. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of cash? Advertising. So you will be writing advertising over here. Now see its date, which is 23B. So you will be writing 23B in date column. 1 second, it is 23B. Okay. Dates are very important, that is why I have taken time to edit it. 23B was having only one element that has been posted, so mark it as it has been done. 24th entry, there are two elements, only one element is related to cash book and to be posted, that is bank. Bank is debited 245. Go to the debit side of the bank and write down 245 over here. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of bank? Ijaz. So you will be writing 2 Ijaz over particular column. What its date is, that is 24. So put 24 in date column. And now you can see only one element was to be posted. We have posted 24 completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now entry number 29, two elements are present, but only one element to be posted, that is bank, which is credited by 245. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 245 over here. And now see what is the reference of 245. What is written on opposite side of bank? What is written on opposite side of the bank? That is Ijaz. So put Ijaz name over here by an additional word of by is an additional word. Now see its date, which is 29. Let's put the date 29 in date column. Okay, there is a doubt how 245 and 245 are same entries for two different entries, 24, 29. Let's check it out. Here is 24 and 29. We don't have 29. 1 second. Let's check the question if it is 20. So amount of 24 is 245. Okay, it is 25, 245, because Ijaz Bashir check returned dishonored. So since check was received and deposited into the bank and same check has been dishonored, that is why amount is same. Let's come back to the point where we were. In 29th entry, we were posting in 29th entry bank credit side. At credit side, we were supposed to write for 245. 29th entry complete ho gayi. Okay. So there were two elements. Bank was needed to be posted on credit side, and we have posted 245 on bank column of credit side. We have posted the reference, we have posted the date as well. 29 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 31A, where there are two elements, but only one element associated with the cash book. Cash is credited by 160. Go to the credit side of cash and write down 160 in cash column. Now see its reference, which is what is written on opposite side of cash? Salaries. So write down buy salaries in particular column. Now see its date 31A. Put 31A over here in date column. 31A was having only one element to be posted. We have posted, it means 31A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now 31B is having two elements, and both elements are associated with cash book, so we will post them step by step. First step is to see bank. Bank is debited by 100. Go to the debit side of the bank and write down 100 over here in debit bank column. Now see what is reference, what is written on opposite side bank, that is cash. So you are putting 2 cash in particulars column. See what is last date, that is 31B. Put 31B in date column. This way what had happened, out of 2 elements, one element bank has been posted, second element is cash. Cash is credited by 100. So go to the credit side of the cash and credit 100 rupees. Write down its reference, what is written on opposite side of cash, that is bank. So you will be writing by bank in particular column, and now it's date 31B. After putting 31B, we have posted all the entries present in journal. So mark 31B as it has been completed. You can see that we have started from here 1A, step by step by step. Look at the green signals. All of the journal entries now posted in the cash book. With what happened, posting has been completed. So now the next step is to balance the cash book ledgers. Actual purpose of making the cash book is what? To have the balances. That means why we have worked so hard, why we have created journal, why we have posted all the entries on debit side, why we have posted all the entries on credit side, why these many entries were posted, and whole hard work is equal to one relationship, only one conclusion is very important: to have the balances of cash and bank. How you would calculate balances of cash? Initially, just understand the simple procedure. We have cash debit side. It is showing how much cash you have received. Cash debit means increase in cash. That means increase in assets. So that is why we have posted all the cash which we have received on debit side. Then we have cash credit side showing that how much cash you have paid. So now some of you may have understood how we can calculate cash in hand. This is total cash received. This is total cash paid. If you will subtract total cash paid from total cash received, so we would have how much cash is still present in hand. That is what we are going to do. First step is to see sum of all the amounts present on debit side. I'm taking help from Excel. What you will do, you will write all of these amount on your calculator, and you will get the sum of these amounts. And here Excel have told me that total of this column is 1406. Now go to the credit side of cash and sum up all the amounts present on cash column. Here I have taken help from Excel, and Excel is saying total of credit side is 1185. Now it's time to conclude. This is debit side 14 and this is credit side 1185. You want to know how much cash is still in hand. So what you will do, you will subtract this 1185 credit side from 1406, which is cash received. When you will subtract cash paid from cash received, you will get the amount which is still not paid, which is still in your hand. That was the purpose of making cash book. But there is a very technical way of calculating this balance. You will have to follow few steps. Step number 1 we have completed, which is get sum of debit side and sum of credit side. Then make a comparison which sum is the larger sum. We have 140 over here, we have 11 over here. It means 1406 is the larger sum. So what you will do, you will go to the total of debit side of the cash and will write this larger sum over here. And surprisingly, you will go to the credit side of the cash and will write same larger sum on credit side as well. Here you can object that total of credit side was 11. Why we have written 14? So this is technical step to calculate the balance. Step number 3. Step number 1, calculate the total of both sides. Step number 2, make comparison and see which is larger sum and put larger sum on total of both sides. Third step is to calculate the balance. And how you would calculate the balance? When you will subtract cash paid from cash received. This is your cash received, and now you are going to subtract cash paid. The remaining is the amount which is still in your hand, and that is 221. Write down it as your balance with an additional word of buy, because balance is coming over here. So you have chosen the smaller side, and you have put the balance amount over here. And when you will calculate again the sum of amounts present on credit side, beside this balance which we have calculated, you will get the same total which we have already written. Someone who wants to understand it once again, I am repeating this method for the bank as well. First step is what? Get sum of debit side of bank, and you will add all the amounts present on debit side of the bank. You will use calculator, as Excel would not be available in your exam. This is total of debit side of the bank. And now go to the credit side of the bank and get sum of all the amounts present on credit side. Here you will get the sum of all the amounts present on credit side of the bank. Step 1 completed. Total of debit side 17, total of credit side 13. Now make comparison which amount is larger sum, that is 17. And stop for few seconds. I'm just telling you, this is sum of debit side of the bank showing what? How much amount is deposited into the bank, and this is what? How much amount is withdrawn from the bank. So how would you calculate how much amount is still present in your bank account? What you will do, you will subtract this amount drawn from the bank from the amount which you have deposited into the bank. The difference would be how much amount still present in your bank account. Method is very simple. 1755 is total amount deposited into the bank. 1380 total amount withdrawn. Remaining amount is still present in your bank account. This is our purpose. This was the target of making cash book, but there are technical steps which you will have to follow. First step we have already done. We have calculated the total of both sides. Debit side is 1755, credit side is 130. We had made the comparison and we'll choose the larger sum. This larger sum will be written on total of debit side of the bank and total of credit side of the bank as well. While you can object over here, total of credit side was 13. Why we have written 175? So this is the methodology of balancing. Now how you will calculate how much amount is still present in your bank account? For this, what you will do? This was the total of debit side, which was showing how much amount deposited. You will subtract how much amount withdrawn. Remaining amount would still be present in your bank account. 1 second. This was supposed to be done over here. So this is the amount 1755 total amount deposited. You will subtract 1380, which was total amount withdrawn. So we are subtracting total amount drawn from the total amount deposited into the bank. Remaining amount is still present in your hand, and this is your balance of bank. This was our target, and normally answers of these two columns are given. This is showing how much amount is still present in our hands. This is showing how much amount is still present in your bank account. 221 is answer of cash balance. Let's see what is cash balance. Now you can see over here, it is your cash balance 221, and our balance is also 221. Okay, second balance is 375. Let's see what bank balance is showing, and that is 375, and our answer is also 375. What does that mean? It means all of the journal entries are correct, their amounts have been posted correctly, and we have created cash book. All entries of discount cash at bank are posted correctly. That is why we have got our answer. One step left which we have forgotten. You are not needed to calculate the discount balance. Just take sum of discount allowed, mean debit side. There were only two elements. There was only two entries. So you will get sum of these two entries. Here you have total discount allowed 16 and total discount received is only one entry, so you may write 5 over here, which is total of discount. So you are not needed to balance it, just to take the sum of both sides of discount and write down the total over here. All right, we have completed our question, and happily it could be ended. Why? Because without any interference, without any correction, without any mistake, all journal entries completed, all cash book posting is completed, and we have got the correct answer. It is just only because of your attention. Believe me, if I am not able to see you, but I do understand that you will be watching this video after uploading with the very care. This comes in my mind, and I try to be extremely attentive to my work so that you can have its benefit. Thank you very much for your time. We have solved question number 6 of the author name has been mentioned over there. Question number 6 is completed. Surely we will meet for the solution of any other question in future, surely, inshallah. And up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. Please take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.